Yeah. Let's put away Luke at me. Yeah, bro, let's just do it. Full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Naturally, Maya is the first one to talk. My sis? Could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart. Nicky boy. I feel like you are evil for some reason. When is the reveal that, like, you're the one behind something? You can't just be some bimbo. You can't. I really refuse to believe this. Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, don't have any definite proof, even though I really called it out in court, so in the long term it must be true. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Ellipses. Oh shit, come on. Here we go. Nani? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the court. I need to find some solid proof. It's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Even though I guarantee you this is going to be 2 hours of recording. Not due to my negligence. Oh my god. Here come the yawns, dude. With the judge especially. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luca Atme, please take the stand. Ah, yes. What the hell am I doing here? Well, well. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. Couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask-Starred Mask. You fool. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course. I've been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask-Starred Mask? Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. What the what are you talking about? What? Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask-Starred Mask. Of course. What the what? I'm so confused already. 5 minutes in. Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Plays track. Oh. Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak. Sorry. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. The alibi. So basically where he was the night of the murder, which is October 12th at 1 a.m. at KB Security. Right. I was stealing the urn as Mask Star to Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask Star to Mask was the same time as the murder. Okay. Not necessarily. The timestamp says 58. Not 1 on the dot, but it's Ace Attorney. You never know. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. We wouldn't have talked about all that stuff with Adrian about the paint right there. Maybe there's no paint splotches on the box already? Okay, my brain is firing. Synapses. Even the great Mask Star to Mask cannot be in 2 places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Hold it. Unfortunately, Mr. Atme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I'm secretly a Von Karma. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Let's prove it, Maya. Come on, Maya. Help me out, Maya, please. Alright, hold on. What is my evidence in terms of the vase? Here we go. A wooden box that had the sacred urn in it has pink paint stains on it. Okay. I was stealing the urn just as I announced I would. I had more than a photograph contains no words. One turned out to be my witness. You know what? No. Okay, I was being confident, but let me press. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. Okay. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called a Mask Star to Mask, you fool. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Objection. Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask Star to Mask to create an alibi? Desi Delight. Oh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? Yes. Why not? I saved. If Luke Atme was at KB security during the murder, then the Mask Star to Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Exactly. You had an accomplice. This is the first press. We're really digging. Now remember you've said that, Mr. Trite, because there's no going back. If you are making baseless claims, I'll treat you to a penalty myself. That penalty is probably boiling hot, too. So who is it, Mr. Trite? Who was the accomplice? It was this person. Huh. That's quite the prank you're trying to pull. Do you have any evidence that this person is, in fact, the accomplice? Well, the aura. The aura that this person has around them is... If you're going to judge someone by their aura, you'd be right up there as #1 suspect, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry, Judge. If Luke Atme was at KB security during the murder, then the Mask Star to Mask in this picture has to be a fake. then there really was an accomplice. But right now, I have no idea who it is. Okay, okay. Alright, Capcom, I read you. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what the guy wants. Okay, I hear you. There's got to be another way. And I'm going to find it. I love that sprite so much. I have more than enough time to prepare. It's pathetically easy. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at that point? That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes. Evil is what I am. Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this? How about you stop being, like, elusive and indirect, Maya? Just tell me. Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. That's true. It is kind of odd. You know what? Facts. Okay, that does make sense. So, like, yeah, if something slipped by him, aka mask star to mask, getting by him, he can't be... but he's claiming that he is... What? I'm so confused. Okay. Photo contains the word... Okay. Excuse me. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. Bro, the box has no paint splotches on it. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. Objection! He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed. It turned out that there is no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad, blue melody. Well, looks like I'd better gather more information for now, huh? If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. Facts. Time at which the camera captured mask started mask was the time of the murder. Right, this is the last one, too. Dude, he only has like 4 statements. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I mean, could you have? Are they trying to be slick and, like, make me think that if some blocks are filled in, it'll create another time? No. I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false. Has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are 2 possibilities. Either the mask star to mask in this photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Bro, it's the mask star to mask. It's... Okay, stop. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Is this one of those things where I have to go back and press? Okay, a photograph contains no words. But... I thought he was trying to be slick there. You remember how in the storage basement warehouse thing, there were, like, words? Yeah? Alright, let me just try and present the box. Nope. The time at which the camera captured Mask Star to Mask was the same time as the murder. No. Okay, hold on. No. Can I repress him on everything? If you repress, sometimes you get new evidence. Oh, okay, I'm stumped already. Holy shit. Oh, this is giving me a headache. Did I already try presenting this? I did. Okay, my bad. I'll get it, dude. Give me 1 second. Oh, bro. Broken and repaired by Adrian Andrews 2 weeks ago, then replaced in its box, kept out of sight. Bro. He could have taken that picture at any time at 1 in the morning. There's no date on this picture. Hold on. Dude. Point out the fact that in the picture there's no pink splotches, dude. Come on. This really doesn't make any sense to me. What the hell do I have to point out? Hold on, I think new shit was said there, hold on. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is, that is it. That is the very thing that proves I committed the crime. Lordly Taylor provided that camera, there's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard. Unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Is there something funny about this picture? Oh my god, see what I'm talking about? Like... Can I save? Okay. Going in circles here. You bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? The funny part is right here. Why, this is a Danganronpa bloodstain. Oh, blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly, man. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. A peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. Alright, let's keep him on track. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. That was a weird sentence. Ugh. Well, Mr. Ray, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of those stains? I could have swore I went back and pressed on everything. That was my bad. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Deposition. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, That golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. I really didn't think that's where this was going. I thought it was, like, made clear in one of the previous trials that it was moved. But I guess not. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Maybe.
Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Okay. Ha. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who... First of all, let me save. I'm making headway now. Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? The Shichishido, maybe?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? What?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, what do you think, Mr. Gola?
A man should be able to answer his own questions. That's what I think. Right now, I'm busy trying to come up with 2 answers of my own. Why is coffee black? And why is it bitter?
Mr. Wright, to put, yeah.
Go f yourself. Okay, sorry. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke at me.
Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night.
That is indeed very simple. However,
why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins, because I sure haven't been recording for 40 minutes already. Alright.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph.
Nani?
Look at me. You pretended to be Mask Star to Mask, to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. So why would you not show the statue? Because maybe it had just arrived? Okay, wait.
Nani?
But this photograph contains a single, fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. Was this picture not taken at Lordly Taylor, then? I'm confused at what Phoenix is saying. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? What? His brooch? Or the brooch? Because it's not there. In the item description, it says it was found next to the Ami's statue. right? The lie is mask star to mask. Okay. Okay.
Are you saying that this mask
Star to mask is a fake? Ha. You know, I really wish you would start acting more responsibly. Huh? The current question is, why was the golden statue moved? So what possible connection could there be with Mask Star to Mask's identity? Oh, buggers.
Your face has "oh buggers" written all over it. What a penalty.
Holy shit, brother. The paint again? I don't know. What? Wait, the box, maybe? Phoenix, just where in this picture does the lie exist? Oh, the timestamp. Oh. Okay. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about it being a different date. Or just... I'm confused. I really... Okay.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. Right? Okay. Why do I feel like we're going in unnecessary circles? What? Okay, this is... I've struggled with this for, like, the series up until now. What I know, like, is not consistent with what everybody else knows, and that is so frustrating. 'Cause, like, but that's the point of the game, is to prove what you know. You have to remember that no one knows what you know. You know?
Well, what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed besides the warehouse door?
Well?
The statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. Right, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time he was going to kill the victim. He never went back? Is that what you're saying? And so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this pic... What the... Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So technically, it wouldn't be out of the picture, it's just not there at all. Oh, that's right. Okay, that makes sense now. Jesus. Then the timestamp isn't a contradiction. What? The statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse just yet.
Oh.
So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. Right. Oh, because, yeah, as the long-tailed cat... What? As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so... What? Okay, wait. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be, ruined his picture. His picture that he had already taken, right. Oh my god. So basically, like, if that thing was there, if it was there, then the picture would have been deemed a fake. But he had to move it. That's why it's moved. So how the hell did I prove that it didn't just have to be moved, it wasn't there at all? I haven't really yet. It could be out of frame. And that is why Luke Atme had to move this statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo. Oh, we were still trying to prove why he moved the statue? Oh my, see what happens when you're dumb and you take forever on something? You completely forget what you're even doing.
Order! Order! Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
Facts.
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer.
According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, you had the program, right? I knew that right off the bat, right? Yeah, that alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this?
I don't know.
Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down.
My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good till the last drop.
However, the defense has a very good point.
A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? And that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied.
Which is?
That it's only a possibility.
Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true. That's facts.
No way. Don't fall for that, Your Honor. Come on, hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes.
If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Star Damask, then there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Finally, we're on to the next testimony. Jesus Christ, that took me a long time. God, I'm stupid.
Yes, provide the court with testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
God, testimony 2. Okay, the sacred urn heist. This is where Ron comes in, because he sends him letters. It's him.
I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zvari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. This is so whack. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah. But we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Zvari.
Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Extremely valuable? What the fuck are you talking about? Where's the evidence that says it's not? I know there's evidence. God damn it. Sorry. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right?
Indeed. It seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation.
I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. Better watch out too, Maya. You know? Alright, that was an easy one. The urn was placed in a box in Zvari. You mean this box?
Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me.
Huh. Interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before?
Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me. Let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers.
I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure. It's not. You mean this calling card?
That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Facts. If Luke at me is the dude behind all of this, he would be the one sending these out too, wouldn't he? Okay. And it's not like he was never at Lordly Taylor. He was at Lordly Taylor, right? Yeah. Of course. Because Atme knew about the emblem, right. Right. Making this card authentic would have been child's play. Right. And security by myself to ensure that the crime goes smoothly. Then no one entered the basement warehouse.
Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time on 1 a.m. October 12th.
And this is the photo that proves that, huh?
Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. Maya raises a damn good point. If no one went in and out of the warehouse, well, many people did, but like, that's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. As in, like, someone else took it back. No, okay, until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. The urn is on the picture. I need to take a... What? Not a lot to go on, is there? The detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination, that he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. Bruh. What? We need to prove that he's lying. Okay. What are you talking about? It's on the cover of the... What? Okay, wait, let me press him on that again, then. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before?
Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm. My security was focused on the warehouse. However, Luke Atme, never let information stick...
What? I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure. I don't know how I had security by myself. I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Okay. Press him again on this, then. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if it wasn't a photo, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, yeah. Why are they stressing the fact that he would have never seen the urn until that night? There's this, a poster for the treasure exhibit. It has the urn right here, man. I think the urn itself, maybe for the last one. If not, it's one of the other ones. Nope. Oh my god. Like, I really don't want to come back to this dude, but it's been like an hour. And I'm only on the second testimony. The previous trial was done by now. Like, I'm stumped, dude. Let me press everything again, because that's what I had to do last time. You were asked to guard the... Wait. Wait, what did he just say? Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed, you may ask Lady Andrews. Security was focused. However, hi, look at me, blah, blah, blah. I knew it was extremely valuable treasure. It's not really. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make these after all. Of course. Because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play. Then handled security by myself to ensure that the con would go smoothly. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. What I'm thinking too simply. I really have to start thinking in layers. Because, like, whatever I'm thinking is either step 1 or, like, step 3. I'm either thinking too far ahead, or I'm thinking, like, right here, but I can't think anything beyond it. So what the hell are we trying to prove right now? We have to prove that he could have taken that picture whenever. So how do I prove that? Okay, well, as evidence, I have the fact that the camera went off once around 1 AM on the night of the crime. A photo of the storm entrance taken by the camera on the night of the crime. Okay, so that could be somebody else. But they keep saying that it's not somebody else and that he could have taken that picture whenever. I want to hear the music stop. I want to hear the music stop. There's one thing that Atme stated that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. Which makes no sense, dude. It is right. Okay, like, okay. I'm saying that, but like in terms of like physically in person, right? Yeah, sure, he hasn't. Oh, this is not fun anymore. All I'm saying is the last time I saved was 15 minutes ago. As in, I've been trying to figure this shit out for 15 minutes. I really don't want to look this up, dude, but it's been almost 20 minutes. I hate this. This has happened so many times too, and it completely ruins my mood. This, and always like in this order too. The previous trial was amazing. I was on it, like I was understanding what they were talking about. I was making connections. This makes absolutely no damn sense at all. Okay, looking at the picture again, what the hell in this picture would prove that it was taken before the night of the crime, dude? What does it even say? Sent before a heist, the emblem was top secret. I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasures of Curian exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Speckled urn. This is what happens when you don't read the evidence. Yes! Okay. 20 minutes, making a connection, let's go. 20 minutes, yeah, it's been 20 minutes. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask Star to Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? God, hard look at the court record. Look. Not just face value, open the book.
But of course.
Is there a problem with that calling card?
Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask Star to Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to the pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true, but so what?
Your Honor, you dumbass, truth be told, there is no way that Mask Star to Mask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. Okay, we did it, let's move on. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, she dropped it. Yes, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say a error-prone Stop. And that's when the pink paint got all over the urn. That's also when it broke as well. Broke even more than what it was, I don't know. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Oh, okay, that's what we were proving. Right, okay. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Or coffee in this, like, at this point. Jokes. Hilarious. I'm dead, bro. Okay, now we just gotta prove it was him. What the hell is this connection to Kane Bullard?
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Alright, that did it. He's broken. Colonel.
Nick? I still think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Haha.
Cup 15. Ha. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days.
Conviction, you said?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask Star to Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point.
No! Your Honor!
You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard? Then let me ask you this, Mr. Trent. Why would he do that?
Goddamn, I feel like this is the halfway point and I'm an hour and 20 minutes in. An excellent point.
Nani? Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick! He's getting his second wind!
He prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say. He must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. Excuse me. I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer, Boomer.
They've been doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Third testimony, let's go. Alright, I'm in it now. Come on now.
I, Luke Atme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask Star Damask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask Star Damask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
Alright, immediately. So the victim Kane
Bullard blackmailed the defendant.
This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What? Actually? Written by Bullard. If he... What the fuck? Wait! 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 I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Bruh. Like...
Okay, wait. It was just found in his room. It wasn't addressed to him. Guess who this shit is addressed to? Look at me. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. What's been on Luke Atme's finger this whole time?
Your cross-examination.
Yes, with pleasure. You mean this blackmail letter right here?
It says bring 50 grand.
And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's?
There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it.
But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
An addressee?
This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant.
I wonder... What's up, Nick? Just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa! Do you have evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied?
Allow me to press further! Press again, what do you mean? Yes. Oh, don't repeat yourselves, come on. Bruh. Bruh. God damn it. Okay, wait, hold on. Is his, hold on. Okay. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Come over here and fight me.
Mr. Phoenix Wright. Trite, sorry.
Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior?
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. The cojones. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
What? Wait, show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Where's that list of, shit he's stolen? Shut the f up. I forgot to save again, god damn it. God damn it, dude, really? Blackmail letter: if you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB security at 1 in the morning, bring 50 grand. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. What the hell evidence do I have to prove that? The contradiction is that it's not addressed to Ron. How the hell do I prove that with evidence? Is it the fact that he didn't bring 50 grand with him? Okay, it isn't, thank God. Okay. Holy shit. How the hell do I prove that? Dude, I'm on the right track. It's just, I can't open this door. I just guessed. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's color. This makes no sense, because if you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. The other day. The Tear of Emanon was his first heist, and that shit was a few months ago. This doesn't make sense, bro. Problem is the jewel's color.
Color? It's not much for discussing color. I'm not much for discussing color myself.
According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. This makes no sense to me. They kept saying the Tear of Emanon. Wasn't that his first one? Or have I just been completely disregarding the fact that everyone says that was his latest one? God damn. I'm dumb. I'm really flexing my stupidity in this video. Ups and downs, dude. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead.
Red?
Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Emanon that Mask Star Damask stole at all. No one said it was, bro. Oh my gosh, this is ass. I do not like this, only because I'm getting it wrong. I'm bad at this. I'll admit it. It's good, but like, I'm just not making connections. I admit it, I'm vulnerable.
And your point is, Mr. Trite. So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, is that what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. Yes.
This is...
Wait, this is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing, bro. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme.
Nani?
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? Weasel?
You have been personally involved in every single Mask Star Damask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel. Okay, I guess I just forgot that the Tear of Emanon was his latest one. On God, I thought it was his first one. It's been a while since I've played Ace Attorney, okay? It's been a week. As your reward. A jewel. Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. Wait, what? What did he just say? He received something as a reward for returning the Tear of Emanon? Then what? That red diamond ring, so I was right about the red diamond ring. What the? Okay. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
Order. Order, I said.
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that. Bob and weave, bro. Bob and weave.
Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you for real?
Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world.
Yes, it clearly does.
Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
No problem. Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atme wanted so desperately to keep was a blackmailer. Luke Atme was a blackmailer.
Nani? Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Ron DeLight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. That's right. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after the first incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist.
So I was right. It's the first heist. God, okay, this doesn't make sense. I'm gonna completely forget this case once it's over. Let's just get through it.
After that, I started the plans in the mail. Getting plans in the mail. I had received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron DeLight was actually Mask Star Damask.
That is what we are claiming, yes sir. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. Facts. Middleman. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme.
Shh, silence. Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong?
How did you... Stop. Okay. Funny.
Okay, you say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight? False. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask Star to Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward.
Okay, so it wasn't the first, it was the second one. Whatever. My point still stands, dude.
Which means, I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. My throat. Hey,
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence.
During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that Ron Delight was Mask Star Mask? Go exactly back to that newspaper clipping. Can't scroll, by the way. The guard in the photo is Ron Delight, dude. I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
What do you mean?
I was right. Okay, I didn't think I was right at first. This newspaper clipping. Oh, Brian's done playing, Persona 5 Strikers. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Mask Star to Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. I remember, Gumshoe telling us that Luke Atme found the costume, like, in the trash or something. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. Okay, yeah, I remember that. See, that's not in the evidence, though. I just have to remember that Gumshoe said that. God, this game.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Mask Star to Mask... What the... Wasn't he supposed to be Mask Star to Mask? Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective.
I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud. Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. What garbage.
Why, you... How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Mask Star to Mask. Why can't you understand that?
This dude is crazy. I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You are a hack, bro, for real, actually. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why, you...
How dare you? Did I do it?
It would seem we've finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Good lord, dude. This trial is ass, low-key. Like,
Objection. Bailiff, please.
What? That's cup 17. Come on, we're done.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
What do you mean? I've already prepared my deliver ruling.
Allow me to say one more thing. I will be the one to judge.
Nani?
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What exactly do you mean by that? What?
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lord Lee Taylor the night of the murder.
Yes! That's why he's the one who killed Mr.
But it's a big but, Mr. Trite. There's still one thing you have yet to prove.
And what's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way! Ah!
Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright.
This is it. This is the final round. Fuck! Okay, fine, I can do it. Let's do it. In spite of it all, bro, let's do it. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. Okay. Okay. What the f*** evidence do I have that says that? Cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt force trauma to the head. There are no fingerprints. The buzzer went off at 1:02. Ron's testimony. Okay. But, can you really prove that? I'm losing my voice.
That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atme was at KB Security and the defense can prove it. What do you mean? The defense can prove it with evidence.
Are you sure?
Don't you worry. I'll watch over you as you break down and fall to pieces.
Very well then, let's see this proof.
Proof that Luke Atme was at KB Security. Fuck, actually. Oopsies. I guess I don't have anything. Maybe. Oh. Oh! Oh shit, when was the last time I saved? Let me just say can't prove it. I can't prove it. I'm not gonna save. I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
Okay, well, wait. Okay, well, yeah, okay, wait, but if we hear more of the detective testimony, come on, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Mask Starred Mask.
No.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask Starred Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Yeah, why? What? We have 3 days.
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court law.
Double jeopardy?
What the hell? Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court? Oh shit, no way.
Oh, so we can't try him again. Okay.
That the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask Starred Mask, which means
he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
Yeah, that low-key makes me want to puke too, bro. That's me right now, for real. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Mia, where are you? Mia. Come out. Mia, I'm in the realm. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. As long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid you have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections?
This is kind of a heat ending, though, low-key.
Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Desi, where are you at? You haven't taken the stand yet.
Objection!
That sounded like Franziska, bro. Hold up. I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing, and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Oh, wait. Oh, this might be Mia via Maya. I don't know who this is. Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell? Okay, yeah. Okay, this is Mia. Have you forgotten? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Nani? That voice. No way. Yay! Hi, Mia. Can I give you a hug? I really want to give you a hug, Mia. Okay, stop. Mia! This is Mia, yeah. Okay. This is the true power of the Curane channeling technique. Has Maya not done this before? She's done this before. Is this the third game? What? I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Okay. Help me! Now let's do this! But there's nothing! Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. This testimony's not over yet. What? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Fortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all.
That completely went over my head, dude. I am the ace detective as well as Mask Star to Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Bro, do him and Desi have a thing?
Yes, but those comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Nani?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot?
Nani? Nothing.
Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
Excuse me.
The defense would like to hear you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
Why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer? Right, okay.
So please give us one last bit of testimony. Please, for the love of God. I knew this was going to take 2 hours. Ace Attorney is hours on end.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Save. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Chief. Chief! Oh, Chief. Miss Chief. Okay.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it. Which means the killer sounded it.
What? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Oh, he's talking about Rob. Okay, okay. Looking fly.
Mr. Delight was wearing his mask.
This is a long-ass testimony.
Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask Star to Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints.
How do you know that? How the fuck do you know that?
And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zvari! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
Bruh, 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 bruh. Yeah, it's also long as fuck. Good lord.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, dear Watson.
Ugh.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer?
I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
F you, Your Honor.
Cannot postpone Luke Atmey's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Just one chance? Come on now.
Ha! It seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, there isn't any
any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. Sure. It's been 2 hours.
So it would seem.
What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't mean you always have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is your last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Easy.
God damn it.
Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
The realm. To find a fatal contradiction in his testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. God, this is making me nervous. Come on now. That was weird. It didn't change back to normal. Did you see it change from the black void to the courtroom again? Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it.
Remember, you only get one chance.
Oh, very well. Yes, I know which one it is. I pointed it out. Let's go, Mr. Atmey. About this last remark. Objection. Did I get it wrong? Did I really get it wrong? Was it not that? You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. Let's go! You tricked me, Capcom. I got worried for a second. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot.
What do you mean?
Mr. Atmey, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. I only remember that because, Ron, in the investigation or even in the previous trial, mentioned that, like, even though the note didn't specify, he dressed up as Mask Starter Mask just to be sure. So, if you wouldn't know he was dressed up if either you were a cop investigating or you were actually there. Right, okay.
How can you say that?
I forget his voice sometimes. Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atmey? God, this is satisfying. Getting everything right towards the end, kinda. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask Starter Mask outfit. Isn't that correct?
Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
More like your deductions prove that you're a fool.
Nani? I'm sorry. Whatever do you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
When exactly did we learn that fact? Was dressed as Mask Starter Mask when he went to the scene of the crime.
That was,
It was just a few hours ago in the first trial, and they even pointed out that, Luke Atmey wouldn't know anything about what happened in the trial because he's been in the other trial this whole time. Back when my 6th cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now.
Yeah, let's go. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Oh, no, the cops wouldn't have showed up. That's right, he left. He put him in the safe and he dipped. That's right, I forgot. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atmey? God, there is no way that you should have known about that. Yes, I almost wrote that wrong. Let's go, heat music. That didn't bang as much as I thought it would. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Masked Star to Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well, I'm out of coffee. Come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. No. Then what the hell is... Yeah, and those chances that I want to discuss next. Let's go. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Masked Star to Mask outfit. There is one, and only one way, for Detective Atme to have found out about that.
Only one?
One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony, as I just said. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. From the jump, dude, from the jump. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection.
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Get it? Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, the killer saw Mr. Delight. Yeah, also seen, yeah, exactly, right. Impossible!
Oh shit!
Hey, there he goes. Detective Atme, you saw Masked Star to Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Oh my god. Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival truly of my genius, yeah? Here I am! I'm a clown again!
That's the same line you gave yesterday, writers.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. My voice hurts, I'm not doing that. Yeah, he's a clown. Got him. Good lord, we had some bumps along the way, but here we are.
What an awfully complicated incident.
Yes, I agree. God, I'm over here yelling.
Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who in turn was blackmailing Ron Delight. Crazy. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight? God. He then claimed to be guilty as Masked Star to Mask in order to escape his true crime.
And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. Sure. Oh god, who is that?
At any rate, it would seem we finally find out the truth.
Excuse me. I think it's wrong.
I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, the same line again, besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me! Hi, Ron.
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
About the verdict.
I know. You never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Masked Star to Mask.
Uh-huh?
So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Now that you mention it...
I've been careless. I've been careless. Careless? Mia, what's going on?
As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute.
That's why it said not guilty the first trial. No way. So yeah, he's innocent. No way! We can't try him again. That's cool.
A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent.
Then, Mask Star Damask really is innocent?
It would seem so. For now.
For now? Yeah, let him commit another crime. What do you mean?
Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we did it again.
Boy, this really is lucky. Wait, this isn't good after all. You see, the thing is, I still have Mask Star Damask.
Oh shit. Which means, like, Desi would know that now, wouldn't she? God. I really almost did this trial in real time. Dead ass. I've been recording for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Oh, hi, Mia.
You did it, Phoenix.
Thank you, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? How's like the dead place or wherever you are?
Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Really? No shit.
I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. It's just a joke, fam. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of Kurain channeling school? Yeah, facts.
Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Oh my god, who's still out there? Misty Faye, right?
Watch over her. Will you, Phoenix?
Of course.
Well then, see you around, I guess.
Mia.
Mr. Wright? I don't know what to say.
Congrats, Mr. Delight. Shake my hand. You manly dude.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore.
Come on! Just be happy already! Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask Star Damask to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask Star Damask. I did it all for one reason. For her.
You mean your wife, Desiree, who really was a bimbo this whole time, bro? Dude, I had suspicions, like, for her ever since we first saw her. Good lord. God damn it.
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Mask Star Damask?
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together!
That's not true. Right, Nick? Adrian Andrews put my urn back together. Right. Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I hate when they do this. I never get these right. I can. Kinda wish you would check me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. Don't fucking... Is that the urn, bro? I was right. Wait, was I right? Oh, wait, was I right? Hold up. Maybe I was right. Hold up.
The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. Facts! She had suspicion on him. That's why she went and got it, to help him out. That's right. Okay. I was right for the wrong reason. She believed in you, bud. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Give me an achievement, please. Ah, there you are. God, I fucking hate you, actually, Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Mask Star to Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you... what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Hmm? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. Oh, okay. Oh. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them like a man. Oh. Oh. So I guess we did kind of prove that, Luke at me made that one. Maybe? Yeah, because it was, I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? God, I'm losing my voice here. I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Aw. Heart-touching. Desi. Desiree. Really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes. I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. That's great. You want to give me some money? Oh, well, take care of yourself, I guess. Bye. You too, Nicky boy. What's with those ellipses? Little Miss Forehead is back. Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya, congratulations! Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you put another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya? No, stop. Pearls, stop. So just as the case came to a close, so did my consciousness. Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together, but I proved him wrong. I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Hey, it's the girls. There you go. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. You sure about that? Hey. Is that... Oh, okay, that was the end? Wow, that was rather abrupt. Do I get an achievement, for picking the right thingy? Oh. Is that Maya? Recipe for turnabout? Oh, God. Episode 3. Bro. A new episode. Can't wait to get upset. Yes, I want to save my progress. Good lord. Good lordly Taylor, bro. Some of these are really easy. The trial before this one was incredibly easy. For me at least, I got it done in an hour. Maybe that's just because that's just how long it was, but goddamn, this was annoying. Luke at me is terrible. I do not like him as a character. Trying to prove something, but like bringing up something else first to get to that point, I struggle with evidently. God, do I struggle with that. I eventually get there in the end. I didn't have to look anything up. I've had to look up shit before in the past. Let's make that something. I think. I don't think I've done it already for this game. We're halfway done with this game already. 2 episodes down, 2 to go. I do not want to look up anything in this game. Like, in terms of the answers. I don't think I did it for episode 1. I know I didn't do it for this episode here. I edit these videos down just for time's sake. Just take my word that I'm not, you know... I'm not looking up the answers. I like to be super honest. I don't like lying. It makes me feel bad. So let's make that a thing. No looking stuff up for this game. If I do look something up, I will be completely honest and admit it. But let's make that a thing. Episode 2 is done. Episode 2 is done, bro. We are done. Time for recipe for Turnabout. Thumbs up, I guess, for completing episode 2 and kind of finishing off somewhat strong. Comment what you think of just episode 2 in general, or any characters, Desi, Ron, Luke, the introduction of Godot, right? Anything. It's great. Along with Ace Attorney, you see what else I'm playing, even though I don't really play anything else much nowadays because work and life stuff, I guess. But yeah, if you want to see any of that stuff, subscribe here on YouTube or follow me over at Twitch with the link in the description. Just be safe and healthy, please. That's all I ask. It's not much. Have a good day.